All right, hey, Jeff back again. So, as you can tell, I had everything set up already, and you might, if you've watched it already, you may have already seen the video I did reviewing the Neil Morse Jesus Christ the Exorcist that came in. While I was sitting here making that video, I saw the mailman coming and plopped down this big box for me. So, as I mentioned in a previous video, I knew I went kind of overboard with the Black Friday sales. Now, this is all going to be Christian music, so I'll tell you that up front. Christian rock. I ordered stuff from the typical three major Christian rock mail order companies. The first one I ordered from, because they had their sale a week before Black Friday, was Rox Records. I ordered a bunch of stuff from them. It's in the mail. It's been in the mail since before Thanksgiving, and as usual, not as usual, as has happened before, it's stuck somewhere in California. No updates. It happened. It happened once before, and it came a couple weeks later. So I've got that, some of the limited run vinyl stuff that's coming at the same time. They were all shipped together, and they're in limbo. So waiting for that. I also ordered from Boone's Overstock, so we got some retroactive related material. And then this is from Girder. Now, Girder Music is a state below me, so obviously it makes sense that it got here fastest. So, and it's a mixture of CDs and vinyl. So what happens when they do these Black Friday sales? Of course, they knock things down really cheap. And so that is when I tend to try to catch up on some releases that maybe at the time I couldn't justify the purchase, couldn't afford it. I also pick up CDs that I'm like, I spent too much money on vinyl, so I went ahead and waited. Now I can get the CD. So let's see. It's going to be all that kind of material. So let's see what we got. Let's open box. I already scored it with my little knife. All right. This is my favorite piece of cardboard. I love this. I cannot wait to display this and play this. That's going to be the greatest thing. All right. Evanescence Fallen. So this is the debut Evanescence album. And, he was selling it for like $11. I love the first album. Kind of lost interest in them after this. The band changed. Everything changed. And so, yes, this was worth grabbing at a discounted price. Same with this one. One of my favorite, I don't know what you want to call them, a hardcore band. Sleeping Giant, I Am. I believe, was this their last album before they broke up? Or the one before their last album. Anyway, they're, kind of punkish, very, 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 very Christian, blatant. I love the fact that I understand the vocals and their lyrics are great and music is great. Again, it was on sale. It might even be, let's check out and see if it's on color. I think the vinyl is colored. Let's see if I got one of the colored. Yep. It's a splatter, clear, and gold. Kind of matches the center rings there. Yeah. And then I got some classics. He still has a bunch of older records there. Brian Hayworth, pass it on. Now I have some Brian Hayworth's other stuff, but not this album. I can't remember the other album I have. So I wish I could get that on vinyl at some point, but I figured I enjoyed that. It's kind of a, classic bluesy rock, 70s type rock. And so, it was literally just a couple dollars. So, yeah, I'm grabbing that. Now, I grabbed this Vision. I have this album already. I bought it back in the day. This is the original release. I bought it back in the day. I still have it back in the day. But I thought for the few dollars that this was being sold for, I'd get an upgrade copy. Because I have my copy from back in the day, and I'm sure back in the 80s, I didn't take super great care of it. I don't think it plays bad. We've played it. But, it's like, okay, a couple dollars more and get a brand new shiny one. So, hoping it's not warped because it's older. Again, this is, I have no clue. Ed Razloff. I've heard some clips, but I don't really follow him. It's, he was a early, kind of a 70s bluesy hard rock. And so, yeah, I thought, I like that kind of music. Again, for just a couple dollars. He has a bunch of these, still sealed older releases, and over the years I've picked up one here or there, but decided to get some more here. Jeff Moore in the Distance. I was into him back in the day. This is one of his later ones. The one I had was he had one Where Are the Other Nine, which was more contemporary popish, And then he had one after that that had the remake of Larry Norman's Why Should the Devil Have All the Good Music. I love that album. I believe this one came out right after that. I think I have this digitally, but you know, again, it's just rock, contemporary Christian rock, pop, and I dug his stuff in the past, and I figured I have this, like I say, I have this digitally. I don't think I have it on CD, but I have the digital tracks. So I thought, hey, let's grab the album. Now, this is Terry Scott Taylor, singer for Daniel Amos. I have picked up I was never really into Daniel Amos over the years. I know. Because they weren't metal, they weren't hard rock, and I wasn't into the classic stuff from the 70s because I wasn't into Christian music in the 70s and early 80s. So when I discovered Daniel Amos, Dawn 4 Big Bite was the big album, and it was very techno, and I did have that on CD. And I still like that. Now, in recent years, they've been reissuing all their stuff on CD, deluxe edition CDs, and I've been picking them up. And so now I've gotten back into them. And then I went back, I've showed in recent videos where I've picked up some of their albums, Daniel Amos, some of their older albums, where they were very folkish and countryish and things along that line. So I've grown to appreciate them more, I would say, in the past 5 years. So, solo album, why not? From the 80s, Terry Scott Taylor. Grabbed that. Again, a couple dollars. This was a nice big markdown. This is one of the limited run vinyl. This is Jamie Rowe. Jamie is the singer from Guardian. He also sang for Tempest, which I really like, the two Tempest albums. Not everybody does. I was friends with them back in the day when he was 17 years old. I liked their first album so much. I tracked him down, looked him up, found their phone number in Indiana, and became, phone buddies with him. Later met them. Had them on the cover of my first magazine. Hung out with them when they were spending time recording some stuff down in Pensacola, Florida, when I was stationed down in Biloxi. Anyway, long story short, I like Jamie. I like his material. This is a slightly different album. I bought the CD as soon as it came out, and it's kind of got he lives, in that area where, it's kind of a countryish. It's got a country rock flair. But I'm telling you, it was an excellent album. Now, when this first came out on vinyl, there's just too much limited run vinyl to keep up with sometimes. I had to say no on something. I said no on this. I said no on the John Schlitt. Because, again, metal versus things. And then you look at, it's not metal. Do I want to spend the money on vinyl when I'm not but I have it on CD, So I made that choice not to do it. Now, when they marked this down from a, $40 limited run vinyl record to a $15 record, I jumped on it. I did still not go with the John Schlitt because it wasn't marked down to 15. Had it been 15, I probably would have jumped all over it just to keep up, to catch up. And it's on colored vinyl. Let's see. I like this album. I think I'm going to love this album even more on vinyl. I am glad I got it. And again, the price was right. I love the closeout prices. They're not, Black Friday. Blue. Splatter. That's not Jamie. Boy, he looks very feminine there. No, I believe that's his daughter. He posts pictures of these family members all the time. That's Jamie there. Yes. Oh, there you go. It is a great album. If you can diversify your taste enough to get past the fact that, Jamie sings in one of Christian's greatest melodic metal bands. If you get past that and you can get into that, then fine. Now, I picked up these are some of the CDs. So now, all the labels, all of these three major labels are releasing lots and lots of classic CDs. Not all of them are bands that I was into back in the day. Not all of them are bands that I, was really into. They were all a little more commercial, a little more pop. Again, they weren't metal back in the 80s. I wasn't paying much attention to them. And so now I appreciate things more. But still, when they release these series of all of these bands, it's hard to keep up. And especially when you're like, I'm buying more vinyl now. It's hard to buy all of these CDs. And so I do try to go back on days like this and say, let's pick up the CD reissues. Not only do you want to support these labels, because I tell you what, these three labels in my mind are doing such a great service for the Christian music industry, because the music that they're bringing back that has long since been gone, the bands that are coming back into the public attention, or at least, you know, the buying people's attention, the music was great. It was great back in the day. They're reissuing it, they're remastering it, and they're putting back into print bands that may not have ever even been, well, some of them have never been on vinyl, of course. Some maybe were harder to find on CD. It depends on the time frame when they were released, and some have just, you know, been needed to have a little cleanup and repress. So this was a band that I totally ignored back in the day because, again, they were just too commercial. I think I have some of their digital tracks. It wasn't something that I ran out to buy, but I liked them enough. Now I see that they're being reissued, sounding better, you know, put out. I got the entire Jag series. And we get the glare off of there for you. So there are, technically there's 4. There's 3 Jag releases. And then this is the singer, I believe it's a singer. Kind of a solo album, but they kind of want to classify it similar style. So I did grab these. The price, you know, was more than half off. There are a lot of these type of reissues that I still need to get. Again, sometimes it's hard to justify. Well, I already own the original CD. Do I really want that? I'd rather have it on vinyl, and they're going to release it on vinyl. There's only so much money to go around, you know. And so, but there are some that I wanted to have. So, like I've in the past shown, I bought all the reissues of Angelica, and they're putting most of them on vinyl. So I bought them on that too. And so there are some bands that I really go out of my way to do. But then there are some bands that I'm still missing out on. And if they would have been at, you know, $6, I probably would have bought them. The Sacred Warrior reissues, the Idol Cure reissues, the Jerusalem reissues on CD. I do have them. I believe they were shared with me digitally, probably because of the magazine I write for. But I still, you know, want to have those on CD. And there's like 6 or 8 of them. And they did mark them down, but they're still like $90. And I'm just like, oh, that's still, you know, $10, $15 of CD. I love Jerusalem, though. One day I've got to get those. The Barnabas reissues that came out a few years ago. You know, I was even involved in helping to proofread and the liner notes and everything in that whole project. But I have the digital tracks. Again, they were shared with me, but I got to get the CDs. So there are a lot of those. These are all part of the Legends of Rock series. So Girder Music puts out Legends of Rock, and aside from some of the more contemporary music that they've been releasing recently that I'm not interested in as much, most of their stuff is commercial rock. The Halo series, I almost bought those. I don't think I bought those from somebody, but anyway, there's so many. They're putting out so much great stuff. And a little bit of it is more on the poppier side, a little bit on the contemporary rock side. So it's not like it's been an urgent thing to go get because there's so much metal and so much vinyl that they're releasing. It's just, you're killing me, guys. But hey, when you put a sale out like this, I'm going to jump on what I can to get what I can to catch up where I can. Still got a long way to go, but that's it for now. Thank you, Girder Music. Thank you, Greg, for doing everything you do. I do have, like I say, big box from Rocks and a big box from Boone's. Can't wait for those to come in. But for now, thank you, Greg. Glad these arrived safely. Looking forward to spinning some of this stuff. Rock on, people. See you later.